Hello, everybody. I didn't think I would do this, but here we are. So, I have really been getting a lot of comments about asking me to do this. So, seeing as though I have some time, as you guys can see, I just finished up putting away all my Pokemon cards. That's literally what I've been doing for about 3 days now. So we're going to go back in time a while. This is just a whiteboard. A little bit of whiteboard that I have. Dry erase marker. And the manual. Because I do not trust myself even. So I'm going to go more into the wiring. Because I know that caused me so much frustration. It wasn't even funny. Because these instructions are horrible. So, first things first. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that for every single piece. Frick it. Wrong copy. Always make sure this is correct. Well, you gotta really, 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 really strictly follow these instructions. Like, let me... So, another thing, make sure your measurements are accurate. 110 millimeters is 11 centimeters, or... Here, let's move in a little bit. So, this wire right here, which is talking about that one right there, needs to be 110 millimeters or 11 centimeters, or Alexa, what is 11 centimeters in inches?
11 centimeters is 4.33 inches.
So that's 4.33 inches. So make sure you get this number correct. It's a big thing. Now, I did this for all the ends. I literally did this for every step of the way. I took a little bit off using my hobby knife or whatever knife you have. Just gently went in, just took off the outer covering of it, just took off the outer plastic covering to make sure it was metal on metal connection with the screw. I do not know if that was the big thing that made it successful, but because it could be one of the things, it's something I will mention here. Now, make sure you're not crossing up your wires. I know that it can be fairly easy to do that, but let me just grab one thing here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. So, the kanji for black, which is actually this one up here, will be this window looking one with sunlight going through onto a table. That's a black. And then the other one is gray, I think it is. I believe so. So make sure that the black is where this one was. Like this one is up top. So this is our black line right there. I had no idea how dirty that was. The other thing that I did was that I was testing it when it was telling you to do so. I would literally do this. Literally do this. Test it all the time. Because if something stops working, then you know to stop, look at the wiring, figure out what's wrong, whether if you pinch the wire or whatever you've done to it, so then you can fix it easier than it would be, let's just say for me right now, which is really hard to show the wiring in them without taking them completely apart. So, make sure that the LEDs are in the orientation, and again, you have the right colors. And your measurements are accurate. You will need to cut it down a little bit, the wire. Because if you have too much of it, it gets pinched. You can actually cut it with plastic. You can basically crush it. So then electricity won't be able to pass through that point. I know I've actually done that with my Exia, with my perfect grade light up Exia that I have. So there's that. And again, I stripped the wires before, so then it would be a metal on metal connection. Now, here is actually a really... I didn't realize I did this. Yeah, I did that. Wow. I'm thinking ahead. Now, it's been a while since I've personally viewed the video. So, I'm showing you guys everything for the wiring. As much of it as I can. Eventually, I do have my wing right here. And eventually, I'll try and show you as much as I can. I do not make any guarantees. This is the hard part about this, is that if you get one little thing wrong, you're pinching one little wire wrong, there's 1,000 things that can go wrong, that without being able to see it, I can't really diagnose stuff. Because especially here, like, this is actually a really important page. I'm realizing. For the wiring, this is your final stage of wiring, this page. So, it actually goes into now you see, where does this wire go off to? Is there really a loose wire in that? What? I know it says here to cut off any loose wires. Ignore that. Ignore it. Really, as long as you keep the wires together and you make sure it's securely in there, it will be fine. Because it'll be a metal on metal connection. I trust the metal on metal connection more than the metal, hopefully through the plastic sheeting, the rubberized plastic sheeting on all wire. And then it becomes metal on metal. That gives me a little iffiness. So I did not do that. But this is all your gray wiring here. That's all gray. That's all your gray wiring. Holy cow. Like, me looking back at, like, they do include this measuring tape right here, right at the bottom of your page, which is probably what you should use, but it's just 3 centimeters, just to be sure that you get it exactly right. But these are all your black. That's all your black wires. And again, the 25 millimeters. Make sure you get it right. Like, a lot of this stuff is stuff if you're just following the instructions doesn't make a ton of sense until you actually visually see the parts. Like, you gotta visually see the parts. Like, I'm pretty sure for this one, I twisted these two together and then I twisted them onto there. But to me, like, it's just that metal on metal connection that you really trust it more. Like, if this is, let's just say, the pencil wire, okay? This is all the sheathing on it. Screw comes in and it might get through. Like, it might get through to it. But why take that chance? Just cut it. Expose the wire. Then you have a screw going right on the metal. The screws are what causes the connection. The screw is what causes this to be able to transfer electricity into the wire. You can even see it. They have their wires exposed. They have wires exposed. They literally have wires exposed on their sheet here. I'm not crazy. I'm just telling you guys what I'm seeing. Let me just see. So the eyes are still lining up. But this is part of the issue. Okay. I'm about to go on a rant here about Bandai and everything here. Because the Alexa, turn off video light.
Okay.
As you guys can see, the head is lit up. Alexa, turn on video light.
Okay.
But the head has... You can't look straight down with the head. Like... Oh, really? Why did that part fall off? What? Like... Well, let's just find out one thing here really quickly. How early on was this kit? Because I know it was... Oh, look at that. Hey, sometimes you just gotta... Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh. Oh, I got it to work. Oh. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that. I want to find out one thing quickly here. This one was a 2000 kit. Alexa, when was the Perfect Grade RX 78-2 released?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Okay. So the perfect grade. So this explains a lot. This actually does explain a lot. So the perfect grade RX 78-2, which was the first Gundam, not their first perfect grade, their first perfect grade Gundam, was released in 1988. The Wing Gundam was originally released in 2000, so it's a 20-year-old kit. This kit is 20 years old. So Bandai were still trying to figure out how the heck do we put wiring in these things now. That's probably why with like the Astray Red Frame, the Strike Rogue, the Strike Freedom, they have very simple little battery packs in the head. Then they started to shift that with the double O riser, which I have off to the side here. Tons of, basically it has headlights, but it also has the shoulder generator things. And then came the Unicorn. Well, the Unicorn, that's a kit to, if you're going to do light up kit for that, yeah, I would recommend getting it with the kit when you originally get it. Same with the Banshee. But the Exia was a dream. It was a dream compared to these old kits for lighting up. So it explains a lot, and it also, and I don't know why more people aren't showing it. Because, like, other than the wiring, it's a solid kit itself. Like, it has a lot of details. It has a lot of panel lines and all that stuff. Like, sure, this is a very old kit, even for me. But, so, let's open them up. So I screwed this on as tight as it would go. That was a big thing that I did. Oh, come on. Okay. There we go. Okay. But you guys can see, like, I have all the wires exposed. I have all of the wires exposed. I'll bring you guys in nice and close here. So I have all of the wires exposed in there. And actually, it looks like one of my buttons wouldn't quite, the button cell batteries wouldn't quite sit flush. So I had to put in a piece of folded up tape. That's what that is right down there. I'm hoping these parts should just These parts just slide off. Oh, they're attached somehow. You know what? Before I wreck something really bad, okay, that's what I thought. Okay. There we go. There's one side. You know what? That can actually just... There we go. Now we're getting in. So remember to really follow the instructions, because there's a little gap right here that the wiring goes in through from the head. Now I'm trying to get... Oh, hello wires. Hello there. Okay, so looks like from the front here, it actually goes through a little channel. So a little channel, which the black for mine is on the left. So closest to you guys here. You guys can just see in there. So that's where the wire comes from. Oh, I broke a little pig off. Oh well, who cares? And in here, oh, can I get in there a little bit better? Okay, so it doesn't look like I can quite get in there, but mine doesn't fully close. So that makes me think, yeah, because wires are coming out from this side, right there. They're coming down right here and splitting off into the respective areas. But I can guarantee you that it does look like this. And you guys can even see that this is the switch here. Did I do it properly? It's really hard to tell if I actually did this properly, but it looks like I did. So I have the two black wires going here and the one there. These wires are there. So the main things it looks like that I did was strip the wires. Let's strip back farther if you need to. Let's just make sure it is that metal on metal connection. And if something's not working and you know there's a wire there, do not force it. You may actually break a wire that way. And make sure with the batteries that they're actually properly flush in there. Like they're properly in there. Because if one battery's out, it will not work properly. Like right now my head isn't working properly, but my chest is working fine. So, and sometimes you just gotta play around with it a little bit, figure out what position you should turn it on in. Because usually I turn it on like this. I have it facing downwards. So those seem to be about the biggest tips I can give without going out and getting a whole new wing Gundam. And if it comes down to that, then it'll come down to that. But right now it doesn't seem like right now, like it's working. Everything's put in. Just make sure it's all properly together. Like follow the instructions for the lengths. Make sure to strip those wires on both ends, because as I say, those screws do not have very little like there's not much to it. There's not much biting force to it. Like if this wouldn't be able to get through one of the wires. So I would make sure I would really strip them. That's the biggest tip I would give. And I'm gonna basically, like, this is without fully taking it all apart and possibly destroying it in the process. Really, the wiring comes down to the tips I've given you guys about stripping the wires, making sure everything's correct, making sure you're not pinching any wires in between parts, making sure that your batteries are set correctly. If there's one battery a little bit out, find something to put in. A little bit of sprue, a little bit of paper, a little bit of tape. Just something to get that battery fully in there properly. I would not recommend using like a magnet or something like that. That I would not recommend doing. But I really, really hope that this is giving you guys at least some more ideas to try at least with your kits if you're having troubles with it. So that's basically all the tips I have, because I know this is probably the hardest kit I have ever put together. And I've built a few kits. like here, let's just move that out of the way for a minute here. Yeah, and there's a whole shelf behind me that has more Gundams. There's Gundams up there. There's a Gundam over there. There's my Mega Size and Perfect Grade Unicorn are over there. Like, I've built a few kits. But this kit almost made me stop building Gundams. Just because of the wiring. If you really, really are frustrated with it, there is always the option of not having them light up. But I know that for a lot of people it wouldn't quite be the same. So that's my big tip, is if you're getting frustrated with it, I wouldn't I would leave it for a night, get back to it in the morning when you're more awake, more refreshed. Because things happen. Like, I broke a peg on this guy. I broke a little peg right here. Is it going to be the end of the world? No. No. But if you just rush into it, so this is a good chance to, then you run the risk of breaking a lot more. Like, you might break a wire or something like that. And a lot of it is just fiddling with the wires until they fit. Because, like, you can see the back here. Like, it is a mess of wires. Like, I'll have to play with it a little bit in order to get it fully back. Like, all the wires out of the way of the hole and all that stuff. But that's okay. So I really hope this video has helped you guys out with your models. Good luck with everything, because you gotta remember, like, personally, I've been only building Gundams for 3 years. This is my 4th year of building Gundams. But then you can also branch out and, like, once you built a few Gundams, you're kind of getting bored of it. You can always take a refresher. I have a video on this. I don't think I have a video on him, but I have videos on other guys. Like, that's a Warhammer figure. Or you could also try building Metal Earth stuff. Like, this is an ATST walker that I just finished a while ago. So, don't get too frustrated. I know at times you want to throw this at a wall sometimes and hope that works, but it won't. It'll probably break something pretty important. So, yeah, strip the wires. Make sure the batteries are in correctly. Make sure you're not pinching any wires improperly. And that's about it. So I can try. You guys can try. I can try and help you guys out in the comment section down below. I can't guarantee you anything, but this is about the best I can show you guys without completely stripping it all off. I know in the video it was really hard to see because you guys were actually down here before and looking at it from the side. Just a really quick fix. There we go. So, if you liked this video or if it's helped you at all, hit that like button, share it with people. Let them know that there's this video out there. And if you're new here and it's really helped you and you want to see how I've actually built this, or pretty well any of my other kits that I have around here, hit that subscribe button, because like this unicorn is a brick. It is a brick. I've dropped it from probably meter tall area. Fell face first. Broke the stand it was on. Just the fin broke. That's it. Everything else was perfectly fine on him. But so, yeah. Hopefully this video helps. And until next time, I've got to put this guy together, so back together. So until next time, remember to rock on.